Warning: resin is a toxic material and extremely harmful for the respiratory system when airborne during sanding, grinding, or drilling. The dust, when breathed in, can cause short and long-term health problems, including cancer. Please use a particle or dual organic respirator. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Mokono Man at YouTube with another tank review. We've been doing quite a few of these of late and we'll definitely not stop. We've got yet another garage kit I've bought a few years ago from a garage sale. A nice, really big, heavy tank SPG. The Su-14-br2, early World War II Russian Soviet. Very slow, very cumbersome. Started off as just a field gun on a really large flatbed with tank tracks. And then followed by the defense of Moscow. Had some sort of enclosement area built around and armour reinforced to take fire. So far, a little bit of reference material. A little research on Google has found a photo from back in the day and the same piece in a museum. I believed that the boxed kit that I have is of that. It is missing some parts, sold to me for about $10 in a Ziploc bag from a gentleman, not sure if casted himself, ripped off somewhere else or original. The information is definitely lost in that regards. Within the plastic bag, some of the smaller bits are still on sprues, sloppily casted, quite a bit of warps and spillage in seams all over the place. Not too bad in repair work. First protocol with any resin kit we always do is double wash it in detergent water in a bowl, giving it a good scrub with a toothbrush or something appropriate, followed by rinsing it in clean water and drying her out sufficiently air dry, or if you must, a bit of tissue paper. All the parts has been laid out, gates or sprues removed, cleaned up, and every flat surface sanded with about 300-400 grit sandpaper wet and down to 2000 grit buffed, so the surface is all disturbed, scratched up and ready to etch or take onto paint. With no paperwork and confusion among some of the parts, a few photos has been downloaded of people who built this kit, as well as original reference material to get an idea which piece goes where roughly. The warpage was a bit annoying. Every piece that could not fit right was dipped in boiled water from a kettle in a bowl, shaped in there. Once the water was cool enough to handle with my hands going in there without burning, yet still enough to soften the resin and reshape. Once everything was able to be test fitted, super glue was used to adhere all the parts together, and milliput epoxy putty on the inside and outs to fill any largish gaps. There are a few holes for peeping or gun sights or the actual barrel itself, and it could have been seen right through the tank. Smaller seams were dealt with using a polyester style putty. I found blade putty used for automotive work to be the best. It's a single part and sands off and dries very, very quickly. The whole kit was hit with automotive primer out of a rattle can, lacquer, very, very thick, help in covering a lot of imperfections, and further seams and other items I did not notice were dealt with the same putty. Missing part was re-scratched out of brass which covered the gun barrel. After about 2 rounds of sanding and priming, I was very happy with the detail. It started to resemble quite closely the actual tank from the reference material. The straight tracks which needed to be heated and moulded around the wheels was an absolute pain. Once that was dealt with, and probably not the best assembly job, pretty pleased even for someone who's got quite a bit of experience with resin. Gyanote oxidized red surface primer was applied to give it the right undercoat, both halves. About 3 different shades of Russian green, dark green, and a very light eggshell green was shaded all around to get that very drab, flat Soviet paint scheme, and a single Girls and Panzer decal stuck to one side to show it was hastily put together, put out there, and it was a rushed piece in a desperate and very quick attempt for defense in the early war. Finally, a SMS clear top coat was applied to give it a matte finish, a bit of dusting of a tiny amount of weathering, a brown sludge wash, a black sludge wash, and we're absolutely finished. Now, the finish of this kit is not spectacular. The assembling is not 100% up to scratch. I would not be proud enough to enter this in a competition. It did take a lot of bashing around, but eventually got her together to resemble something. I am very confident in my ability with resin, but I don't think I was quite up to the challenge to tackle this. But due to its cheap and unusual nature of acquiring it, maybe it just wasn't quite up to scratch as a model kit to be built easily and in a fun manner. It was a really interesting journey, and I've got a very, very unique piece for my 72nd collection, especially a prototype tank, very, very early war, very, very big, heavy Russian tank. Early heavy Russian tanks are very, very fascinating, especially the T series and the KV series. So definitely happy to have it done and in the collection. Learned quite a bit. Definitely going to take more time and more care, as well as using more scratch building methods once I come across something this challenging, and definitely emphasize in googling what other modelers have done, and historical pictures of the actual thing really helps with assembly and getting the idea of what it looks like when it's together and which piece should be where. Could have done that a bit better as well. All in all, thank you very much for watching, and as always, stay tuned for more content. Going to be keep pumping out armour videos. Big fan of that. Really like that as a major feature of this channel. More tutorials, more Gundams. I'm not neglecting Gundams whatsoever. Have a look at Facebook for further content, models that I'm working on at the time. Do Twitch streams from time to time, as well as all sorts of goodies and projects on the go. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys later. Leave comments or any feedback. Very happy to answer any questions. Catch you guys later.